We are welcome back again. Everything is really good. A8 it says on my head. A8 because it's the heaven of God. The A stands for a 1. The 8 stands for an 8. It means 9. But the letter B, okay, is actually 2 C's and 1 line. You see, when just like on the digital clocks, when you put when you mark an 8 or a 7, there's lines, okay? Every line, like on your telephone, it's a line and a stop, and then the next number. So you draw a line in between each number, connecting everything together. So the B ends up to be something else. In fact, all the letters in the alphabet are actually created from something else. And I was on Wikipedia before, and they were talking about the M and all those numbers and everything. I see. I know if somebody asks me, I can probably figure out some sort of hypothesis, but working it out as 2 together, we can find it. If I don't know what I'm looking for, I'll find something, but by the time I get the answer you're looking for, well, that'll be so long off we won't see each other anymore. So now we have to start looking for the answers together. I make these videos and I send them out with mistakes, without mistakes. Everybody's going to interpret whatever I do differently. So if I make mistakes, it forces everybody to see it differently, and nobody can actually see it the same because it's a mistake, and everybody sees mistakes differently. What I'm going to do today right now is, it's very funny because when my light's on during the day, there's all kinds of glare on the wall and reflection, but when it comes to the night, it's so much different, the light. It doesn't reflect the same way. It sort of like opens up. It's part of the matrix system. Let's play with this card. What I wanted to do is, now I'm going to show you this first. In Hebrew, okay, they use these little numbers up here. The one on the left says 1 and 3 and 5, which means creation of the E-world. The next one in the Hebrew religion, these are their vowels. It shows 3 spots. Every time you have a circle, you always count it as 5, because that's what the average is. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And the T stands is the 20th letter, and it stands for the beta world expression. Then you have the last 2 dots. They're individualized. They're 5, 10. Totals 15, which means creation can make a 15th letter, and that's the O. And 1 and 5 makes 6 for man, because it's the O and the water that make up who we are. That is the spirit of creation, that dot. And then the lonely dot down below, well, depending if it's up in the Hebrew language or it's down in the Hebrew language, that would just say beta. Okay? Now when you count, we always count, and we go to 4 and we scratch. Then the next way, we want it to connect, don't forget, because they go together. You see the line I didn't connect? Because they go together. I didn't put it the opposite way, I put it this way. Okay? So you got 5 of the 10 commandments, so you have 50. In the next row, and that 50 by 10 is 500, and that 500, okay, times the next 4. The reason we don't cross off the next 4, because 5 and 4 is the birth. That's our birth. So instead of crossing it off, now we multiply 500 times the 4 lines, which means 2,000, and it's the 2,000 years since Jesus Christ. But now if you look at it as the early time and old time, the average is 5, right? But it ends up to be 10. 5, 10, what's the difference? We can cut it in half by dividing it, like David and Goliath. 5, 10. So you have 5,000 right there. Now there's 5,775 years on our calendar. You see the center? Well, because when you hook up, there's 2 positions that are missing there. Beta 2 is missing, okay? And beta 2 is actually the 7. 5 and 2 on your phone is in the center, exactly where those numbers are. 2 and 5 is 7. Okay? And it's 7 of what? It's 7 of the 10-10 God, the 10 commandments. So you got 700. So we got 5,700. Now the row you see in the middle here is worth 25 on this side, because 5 times 5 is 25. And this one is 5 by 4 is 20. So if you add them together, it adds up to 45, which means birth. And in order to get 45, okay, just add up 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 6 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 8 is 36, plus 9 is 45. So you got right there, upside down, of course. You're telling about life right here. Doesn't it look like it's a painter's thing? Now what happens with that is now what was created is below, okay? Now you see the way this one makes a funny line over here? I know it's not straight, but over here is the 9th position. The reason 7, 8, 9, okay, is because once you have 9, that one spirit goes into man. And on a dice, there's 1 to 6. So the 9 is now upside down, and it's now a 6 instead of a 9, because the dice only have 1 to 6. And the 6th dice is 6 islands. There's no center to the 6th dice, and it's the opposite of the 1. You see all the opposite of the dice that show 7? Each one of them has area 51, which is the spirit connection. The only way to travel in God's world is with the spirit connection, because after that, the ball in our head, we're dead. We are not alive just like that. There's more to us than being alive. You see, we can live without the spirit, right? But eventually, our bodies would be so confused in our mind, we'd go nuts. So we don't know. Do you like my lamb in the back? Lamb chops and the tiger? So anyways, now we have 5,775. Okay? And 7, 8, 9, we did that. We did the light. Okay? I did the piano yesterday. And sometimes you see this. These 2 dots. In the Hebrew language, these vowels mean 2 and 5. It equals to 1/4, 25. Then you add what it looks like, make 33. This stands for Christ over here. 2 on your telephone, below it is 5. 2 and 5 is 7. It's the 7 islands, it's Gilligan's Island. Okay? But in all actuality, this is the 2 and this is the 5. 2, 5. 25. 25 is the queen and king in the deck added up together. What else can you do? What do you want to know? It's very hard for me, and I keep repeating this, to continue doing these cassettes with the very little comeback, because it's your comeback, okay, that will help my mind open up and see it your way, and then I'll find the difference, your way, his way, her way. We'll have all the ways, we'll discuss it, and we'll find the middle, because there's more than one answer to everything. There's always an answer. And if something happens to us, we've already made the fate. Okay? We make our own fate. But we don't make our fate for right now. Okay? The fate has already been made. What we do right now is how the fate will work inside of us. You see, fate is a noun until it starts working on you. Then it becomes an action figure. More like an adverb. An added on verb to the I of who we are in the man. You like that? We're all together. So we're going to do a card trick. And I'm going to show you some cards and show you different ways of adding up the card values, because I see it so many different ways. And eventually you get into a way and say, oh yeah, I saw it that way too. That's when you know you're onto something. Urantia, the U's, the A's, the C's, everything is an expression. They put an extra E, they take away an A. I've done this before, but when you say when, W-H-E-N, if you take away the W, which is the creation number 23, you have a hen, okay? If you have this, T-H-I-S, take away the T, you have a his. But if you put a W in front of it, it would be a whiz. But wait, whiz isn't spelled that way. You're right. Because sometimes some letters don't go. And they don't have to go because it's a straight arrow answer. It's the W-I-S. If they put the H in it, they say the heaven. Whatever letter you add or take away, if you put it in front of a letter, it means one thing. If that letter goes in the back of that letter, it means something else. Now, if you ask me, am I fluent in all of this? Absolutely not. Although I do find many, many, many answers in which I am fluent in the totality of it, is if I don't know what the other people are thinking, then how can I be fluid if I don't know if somebody sees it different? I must learn from the others in order to learn myself. There's no way I can learn alone. we come here with a teacher. God never lets us go. He waves goodbye and says good luck, but he's inside you all the time. His rules stand, okay, for coming back another time. Israel, in the letter count, I-9-S, 19, spirit and birth. I-S is. Backwards, it's C. Si, senor. Yes, thank you. Si, yes. Si, senor. So IS also says 15, because INS, when you write it square, comes out to 15. Area, 51. The one key, the position 5, is actually the one area because it shows it in the dice. Do I repeat myself? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I forget more often than I remember. If I would tell you everything I forgot, I'd be telling you more than I tell you at all. But I'm not telling you anything. I'm just telling a story. You're choosing to see what the story is all about. It's all about you and me. That's the way it became. You see the lamb in the back? It was all between them. One was sacrificed and one ruled. One was sacrificed and one ruled. Now look in the back. They're both together. Rubik's Cube is an expression of Christ. It's the 9 lives of the cat. All the expression of Rubik's Cube is not on the outside of Rubik's Cube. What you see on the outside is easy. But if you take all those movements that it makes and look at the inside, if you would take a pen or something, you would see that Rubik's Cube is a lot different than you ever thought. The center of that Rubik's Cube stands for Kansas City, Missouri, because the Christ crosses in a game of bluff poker. In a game of bluff poker, counting the ace is 1 in 14, it gives a total count of 105. And the Kansas City, Highway 70 and Highway 35 stand for 105. So there's on this side and there's on that side. Same thing with the Mississippi and Highway 65 and Highway 55. They didn't put 45 in there because we're 45. We are the foxes. We are the orange foxes. They gave us an orange yellowish sun, but they didn't give me my cigarettes that I lost again. So the big question would be, where are my cigarettes? How come I think I lose more things in one day. I don't even have to move. I found my cigarettes. Oh, baby. Oh, and I found the dice, and I found black tape, and I found markers, and I found pens. I found a pen. Now that's what I'm going to talk about, you see, because I just saw it. I found a pen. A fountain pen. A fountain of youth. Because when you write the letters down, they change. You become younger inside the reality of what the truth of this whole life is. We never grow old and die. Okay? We just forget. We forget. We forget when we were young. So when we forget when we are young, whatever happens when we're old, well, that'll be all a reflection. Because then we remember everything when we need to, which is good. A fountain pen is what lets me mark my words down to take off the blood pressure, to lower my blood pressure. I continue writing and speaking and doing YouTubes and studying and reading. I read and I read and I read. And Irene, the store that came in that was very bad, I read Irene, the eye of the storm, the beginning of something else. You see, that's why everything comes with you. Write, you talk to yourself. This YouTube thing is fantastic, because if we can't get out our expression before that, how are we going to do anything? This internet, if the kids right now don't waste their minds inside, they have to be creative with it. Not just say, oh, well, I don't know, but this is not, and this is bad, and I don't know, and you can't do that. But you could do it. You can do anything you want. As long as you're in control of the understanding of what's inside of your mind, the pinball wizard, deaf, dumb, and blind kid, the shark played a mean pinball. Now, I wrote a lot of things down, but because I'm on video and I can't look at you and look down, I feel like I can't do two things at once now. I used to be able to look down, but I do it, but I feel funny sometimes. So what we're going to do right now is show you a book, light up a cigarette. Madness Explained, Psychosis and Human Nature. It's all in the mind, okay? And it's, if you need, we must overpower it. You know, everybody says a round ball rolls. Sure, a round ball rolls. But if you put it in the middle of here that's round, This is also round. This is round. But if I put it down on my hand, it doesn't roll off. It's still round. This way it rolls off. This way it sits on the ground. So what happens on your telephone, this is what it is. 4, 5, 6 is like this on your phone, when in all actuality it should be like this, and on this angle, tilted over. God is odd. He tilts everything over, and let's go see what we can do. I wanted to talk about my mother's game, and the game is bridge, and I'm going to take out the sheet. You know what's funny? Look at this hand. I have 2 cigarettes. I keep doing things twice. Everything keeps doubling up. I guess it's good. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Well, you appreciate one. One is God. But you appreciate one. One O-N-E, or the non-pronunciation of the W, says one, W-O-N, one. O-N-E, it's all the same thing, but it says Win Wan. Win Wan, Win Wang, the Chinese people, the Asian people. So you know they came before us. You know God had to create with these people, the Asian people, because their language expresses it in my language. So if their language is expressed in my language, they became first. Because white man, okay, was here to be a sourpuss. We're here like the bird's crap that falls from the sky. It's like acid rain. We were here to till and turn over and push the rest of the world until everybody sees so different that time comes to when we all have to look back and see it as the same. Meaning we all got to connect again. It's good to drift apart, but it's even better to come back with stories. The story of life between you, me, and all between. Because we are between. We're in the middle of a U-pit. We're in a pit stop. This is Urantia, my friends, and we're running our minds. They run it from the pits. The hell that freezes over is terrible because you end up in an iceberg and you know you're there and you know you can't move. But you have lots of patience anyways this time. So you freeze up at night and you wake up when the sun comes out in the morning. And since the sun is out in the poles a lot longer, they give man a reflection time to think, the time to think and a reflection upon the thinking. Okay, so now we're going to do this, but I need a drink, okay? I have Perrier and we have Perrier and coffee. Now, before I start on my session, the thing with coffee is I'm never sure if it's good or it's bad. You see, it comes out of the mountains at 6,000 feet, Arabian coffee, and the Arabian horses are beautiful horses, the Arabians. And the girls, the Arabian girls, I'm in love and I haven't even seen her yet. That Middle East, for some reason, my life has been connected. The Middle East, something about it I don't like and I love. I hate and I like. Something's mixed up. That Gulf, the Suez Canal. If you ever look at the Nile River near it on the computer screen, don't look on a map. We have to look at something where we can see clearly from a distance. Because when you see clear from a distance, everything broadens out and then comes together because of the way we see. So you have to see things a little bit different. Now I forgot what I was saying, that's why I just stopped. This coffee, maybe 4 or 5 days old. That's what I was talking about, coffee. Now coffee, cough, cough, cough man, a coffin, coffee, coffin, cough man, coffee, caffeine. The fiend is a calf. The calf is a fiend. So that would be, if the calf is a fiend, it has to do with the cow. Why is the calf the fiend? Because actually, the golden boy of who we are is one who holds the colors of the rainbow. And that one is the golden boy. And he rules with the demon dragon because he must go as low as he can go and as high as he can go because man sometimes can't go low enough and can't go high enough. So they work together, the demon and the angels, okay, in order to balance our mind. And the angel that's working with the other one, he says, hey, Red Angel, what's happening? Red is dead, no? Red is dead because it's a spirit. That's all it is. It's part of a machine. It's part of the system. Okay, the system knows everything that's evil, and the angel in your head knows everything on both sides. But he can judge a lot better from one who can create evil, because if he can't create evil and I'm creating evil, I'm going to end up with evil because he can't save me. And again, like I said, the black X you see, okay, is yellow, blue, and red. Create that. One spirit, two spirit. AAB. 2 and 2 is 4. You got the 4 corners. Did you know that 1, 2, 3 multiplied or added is the same thing? 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 1 times 2 times 3 is 6. Did you know if you add up each row, 1, 2, 3 equals 6, 4, 5, 6 equals 15, 1 and 5 is 6, 7, 8, 9 equals 24, 2 and 4 is 6. So we have all our 6s. Now if you go the other way, the first row, 1, 4, 7, the in-between is 6, and 6 and 4 would be 10. The 2 and 8 in between is 6, and the 3 and 9 in between is 6. So you have 666 dot 666. And when you come into the world of God, everything changes. That's the way it is. So let's go to the bridge, okay? High card points ace 4, because the ace, okay, made creation. Creation is 3, 1 creation and 1 spirit, God, and the 3 creation, create, the 4th angle, and the 2 queen. Now, I always used to think God was number 1, but God is number 3. Because God is number 3 because he's more than number 1, and he's more than number 2, and 1 and 2 is 3, and 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 6 is 10, and now it's perfect because it's the 10 commandments. King equals 2, okay, because man has 2 kings in his head. The queen is an X and equals 1 because it's individualized. Either you're the angel or you are man. The same thing for the next Q. This Q is not an X, man. This is Q, okay, is the 17th letter. 17th letter, the 10th letter is J. The 7th letter is G. So it says JG, which means who you are. And that's why the French confuse the J and the G and the G and the J. So JJ and G is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. So this actual game board is telling us about creation. There's not a game out there that doesn't. We came into this life by creation. That means there was a setup of a rule. Okay, and now we're here and we lose all these rules. We don't even understand them anymore because they're so confusing. We listen to the music, it's fantastic. We like the words, but are they the true words? Yes, they're the true words. Now how you perceive these words to be true, well, that's a different story. So we have this, and what I'm going to do is stop now because I'm a little tired. I'm going to take a nap and come back and finish up on the bridge. And if you have any questions about anything, no problem, send me it. I'll be happy to answer. I really don't have many hits, so I have a lot of time right now. And if I do have a hit, it's going to be a hit for everybody. If my site hits, everybody wins. There's not one person that cannot win without my site. Do I believe in what I say? 100%. Now what's the difference is the hypothesis. It's just like Albert Einstein, okay, or Freud. But Albert Einstein discovered the Big Bang. Because in order to make space, you got to blow up what's there. You have a bag, you close the bag, you hit the bag, you trap space, you exploded. Big Bang is the same thing. God exploded space so he can open it up, so he can start creating his Magen David for the system of Goliath in the house of Hashem, of the energy of Christ, in the worlds of Urantia. Be well, my friends, I am one TACpans. A TACpans is one who puts a tack everywhere, and he goes around with the pan seeing if there's anything to be picked up. Because if there's any missing pieces, that's going to be equal to the next design. So we unpack it. Tack backwards is cat. Pans is snap, because sometimes the cat snaps. And it also represents the turtle. The tortoise and the turtle, the rabbit and the cat in the hat. Dr. Seuss talking to the animals. Well, guess what? If you hate me, I'm going to have to say you're a human being. Most animals were like me. If you're an animal inside your mind and you want creation, if you want the purity of all, that's what's going to like me. Because when you don't want, you'll end up being like all those who don't want, and you'll be even. But if you do want, it gets individualized because it's you who wants. You see, when you don't want, you get thrown into the whole boat because it makes no difference because you're not asking or telling me anything. But all of those who do want become individualized because now they're creators within their own mind. They've taken upon themselves to make a choice. And that's what God wants us to do, to make the choice to understand the difference and see between the difference so we can advance. Our mind is very important. And am I minding my own business in this? Of course I am. If I hurt anybody from what I said, it must be a mistake. I must have said it wrong. That's not my goal. My goal, okay, if you are 12 years old, 11 years old, or 10 years old, when you're 10 years old, you don't see as much as you see when you start to reach puberty because we get a new spirit inside of us. We get the spirit of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get the spirit of 1, 2, 3. Well, now I'll tell you why that is. Spirit, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then spirit of 1, 2, 3.
Because we can rewind the film to watch the parts we missed because someone was talking. It's the home theater event at Roy Martin.
The reason we do it this way is because this one, and this one are all connected. This is your brain. This, and this is your brain. This is the brain of the House of Hashem. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have anything here because that's a negative return.
Retirement plan needs solid expertise. Actually,
this tail goes in because it goes right to the 5. We don't need the 8. Once the 8 is created, we hop from here, then to here. And we still don't need anything. We need to go.
We have an answer. National Bank, ranked the #1 bank in North America for its financial.
We need to go here. 6 connects to 7 and 9 for life. You see that? You see it like a teepee, like a house? It's a Y.
Would you leave the house without
Have you ever heard of 50 ways to leave your lover? I'm in the midst of creating the letter Y, and I'm into my 30th way to create the Y, and I'm hoping to get to 50 ways to leave your lover, because it's always the why and how come you're leaving right now. You shouldn't be leaving at all. So if we're talking about leaving, then we're talking, and that's good. Ask me anything you want about anything. I don't care. I don't know anything right now, but if you ask me, I can look and learn right away from it because I want to. Does it mean I'm always going to learn from it? I'm always going to learn. I'm going to learn that I can't do it, or I'm going to learn that I did do it. I did it or I didn't. Whatever it is, I'm not going to let that destroy me. The only thing that does destroy me is when somebody stops me from letting me speak my piece. If you come to speak, then we speak. If you come to me to speak, it's in a business, it's a company. He speaks, I shut my mouth, or I give him 2 weeks' notice and I leave. But in this world, you raise your hand. Somebody sees you, okay, and we speak. Or before we even get into a conversation where 4 or 5 people, the minute you want to talk, raise your hand. Somebody will see. You notice what it is, and we'll talk to him next. He raised his hands first. First come, first serve. That's why you put up your hands. That's why when the police come up to you and they say put your hands up, when you put them up, you're declaring, I'm number 11. I am 6th man with the 4 angles of God.
Visit your local Fido store today.
4 angles of God. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 man. 5, 6. Okay? The passage is the 5 right here. That's 6 and 5 makes 11. That means I'm 11. So when I hold my hands up for the police like this, okay, I'm holding up 11. But you forgot to look. There's something missing. I got 2 palms. I hold up my hands like this. So I'm 11 down, but I'm 10 up. I'm 11 down and 10 up. 21. 2 and 1 is creation. It creates the queen. So now we learned a new thing with the hands. Hands up. Hands up. Arms create 11, and the palms create 10. And now that we say the palms, the palm trees, the Psalms in the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the Christian Bible, Psalms, I put my Psalms up. That says 10 commandments. 4, 1 and 1. Alpha, beta, 1 and 1. 1 and 1 and 1 makes 2 because this one gets to be used twice. It gets to be used with that once, and then this one becomes individualized. We are all individuals. Married to that. I married one thing in this world, and I married the Word of God. I do not know much about the Word of God, but the energy that's inside of me tells me that I have to follow the Word of God. Because the energy also tells me we're inside a system. And the system that we are inside, okay, is the one that details how we feel every single day. It's a thought adjuster for the totality of the entire system based on what everybody else is doing. Because what everybody else is doing, we have to balance that out between good and bad, and then whatever they learn, it's on this earth, even though it's in their mind, it gets transformed through the great matrix. Because the number one, okay, if you add up 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's an even number. Plus 1 is 3. Odd. 4 even. Odd. Even. Odd. And then you get to 100. And now it's an expression. 1 spirit of 1010 equals the 100. Now you go 101. It's odd because the O, the passage, okay?
The Walrus is also a charity that supports Canadian writers, artists' ideas, and debate.
When you see this, okay, the X and the O, because there's an O, it stops the X. So it says 10, 15, 10. 10, 20, 35. 3 and 5 is 8. XO, oxen, the oxes, the mules, the animals we pulled, the straw, okay, that they had with the pharaohs and Moses. The straw is a part representation of a dice cube. Because the pig on the dice cube, right, has a hole in it. It's a black hole on the dice, on the one dice. And it's also the pig that's 2 dice. So, you see, now we're going to get back to there's just so many things. There's just so many things. So, what did we get? We get XOX. So now let's do this. X, 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 O, I need a drink. I feel like I'm rushing all the time, so if it seems like I'm speedy and you think I'm a little out of it and retarded and I'm not feeling good because I'm always going fast, it has nothing to do with that. I have to get the words out. If I slow down, they don't come out the same way. So I speed up and they come out better. That's the way I do it because it works for me. Next is, what do you see here? Pair. A pair means to have a pair. A pair is a father. The double R means 36, creation of man. The last 4 says Erie, like Erie in the lakes that are Erie. If you look at the beginning, instead of it being Perrier, and you see it on this angle, okay, you can also be saying Jerry. Now you take away the ER and you just go Ri, and that means rice. Rie means to laugh. If you add the life to this, which would be a V, you'd have a river. Okay? You have Perrier. The bubbles inside this are very important to our system. We must keep our system bubbled up. And excuse me to say this, but somebody put something on my pictures, and it says we must fart. Yes, we must fart. It's the air that goes down. It's the information that comes from the top of your mind, and it goes down. And you fart it out, okay? Because it had to pass through your ass for the rest of the information, because there's information going in and out of your rear end. That's why you say, hey, how come I got cancer in my rear end? Because there's information going in and out of it. We're always, you know what Pac-Man is? You see, that's an ace. That's alpha omega. Okay? That's alpha omega. Because alpha omega, okay, gets to use all 9. The reasons this is not in here is because this row would be 7, 8, 9. There is no 7, 8, 9. The 7, 8, 9 work in here. Here is the 5, and here. So if we make the passage, we actually turn it like this. Now, if you really want to see alpha omega, I'm going to do it a little bit different. You don't mind? You don't mind? It's a spade with an egg in it. Because the spade is our body. You see this, if you take a little eye on it, it's Pac-Man. Here's Pac-Man's mouth right here. Pac-Man's eating up. So when you talk, it goes up, it goes down, it goes out. Singing. This is who you are. Here's the egg, this is the Pac-Man. If you take a look at the roulette table, every single number is enveloped, okay, with an egg. Every row has an individual, right? Now what I'm going to show you here next, I forgot to tell you. Okay, if I remember, I hope I remember. And I don't remember. Oh yeah, 147. Where was that 147? Oh, here it is. I found it. You see this here? This is 147 on your phone. But this is in half. You see the stop sign, right, is only supposed to have 2 cut corners, not 4. There's 2 on one side cut because it's on the cut corner stop sign dot, and dot cut stop sign corner, like saying I am who I am.com. Okay? So what happens, like in bowling, this becomes a half. So this and this become 1, 2, 2.5. So you have 2.5 men. So now you got 10, 20, and this, because it's the opposite of this one over here on your phone, the 9, that means on your spare, on your strike, you ended up with a 9 right here. 10, 9, 29, 39, 49, 59. So the number 147 end up to have a 59 total. And what the funny thing about that is that 5 and 9 is the percentage of man. F-I-V-E, the letter count in the placement of the letters in the alphabet. F is 6, I is 9, V is 22, E is 5. Total 42, which is the number of the angel. And it's the first possibility you can have when you play Monopoly is 2 on the dice. So that gives you 59. N-I-N-E has a total letter count of 42. They both have a letter count of 42. So if you add them up to 84, it becomes the 84 months, which is 7 years, and you're in God's world. So now you have 29 in that. Now you go to the second row. It's 10. It's stopped. All you can get is 10, and 10 is 20. This is 258, okay, on your telephone, and the beta world is 20. But you see the 2 O's here? This is a 2, this is an O. It's blocked in, 2 O's on each side. Means you don't count this. Okay, count just the O's. Listen, 10 and 10. This is worth 15. Okay, it's 35, and this is worth 15. It's 50. The 50 years, I'm going to explain it again. Bowling, this is 10. Roman numerals, it's 10, 20. The 15th letter in the alphabet is the O, is 15. And this one's 15. So why am I using 10 here, but yet I'm using the alphabet here for 15? Because the Romans didn't have the O, because it wasn't created for this world yet. So you have to work with 2 worlds. One world you take it valued at 10, the other world you take it valued at 24. And if you look at the same rows here, okay, if we do it the other way, we have 10, 10 is 20, and then the 0 and the 0. The first 0, 20, is 200, and that's the payoff in Monopoly. The third 0 is 2,000, the 2,000 years. 2,000 years, 2,000 years, 2,000 years. 6,000 years minus 1 corner. The value of that corner is 225, and the reason for that is because when God started, he started out alone, so he had to create. So the 9 spots of the cat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The value of this position, 2 and 5, okay, 25. We must multiply it. Okay, everyone is 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200, 225. So 225 less 246,000 brings the year 5775. Now, we're going to do another count for the center here, okay? And the count we're going to do here is like what we did here. 10, 20, 35, 50. Cat and dog stands for 50. If you go into the Hebrew language, 1, 2, 3, no, let's do it this way. 1, 2, an expression. I'm going to go as expression in the Hebrew language. I'm going to use all the letters. 1, 2, 6, 12, 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Final Fe, and Final Tzadi. Final Fe and Final Tzadi. That gives you 50. Final. Now I have absolutely no idea what it means, but because we have the 3 that way, FFF is 666, okay? And the T is 20. So 666 is 18 plus 20 equals 38. The 3rd letter is a C. The 8th letter is an H. Canadians hockey, 3 and 8. Three and 8 is 11. Yoelev. And we begin all over again. Everything is right there for us. We have to go out and get it. It's just like you go down to the stock market. You see all the stocks. You see what they are. You have to go out and get it. But you have to get the ones that go up. Or you have to get the ones that go down. You see, the stock market gives you a chance. They say it's good if it goes up. They say it's good if it goes down. It's good that you're born, you come out. So you come out of the world. You're born, you live inside the world, then you die. We came out into the world. When you die, you go into a box and then into the ground. But at the same time, all these ins, you're going out because your mind is leaving. You're going somewhere else. Your body is no longer needed. It's too old. It's used up. Canadians hockey. Colors of Ken Dryden. Number 29. 2 and 9 is 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Kenny was perfect. Ken Dryden. The roulette table has 36 different places, 38 different places that show the goose egg in it. But they're lying down sideways. They lie an egg down sideways because it doesn't stand up. And it's a little longer, so it's not really going to roll. And if it does roll, well, it's going to roll just like the axis of this earth. And we have no exit on the axis. It rolls and goes, and this car goes forever. Now, like I said, I read anything I want. Doesn't mean I'm always successful. You see this? You and your angel in the reflection of the spinning wheel that goes round and round and round. The center is where that's you. That's the bicycle wheel. It goes around the good on top and the evil angel, but in this picture, it's the same angel. Because in order for an angel to become a devil of some sort, he has to know how to be evil. And he has to know how to be good, so he sees the difference. So they're always giving you good and evil because they're both the same. They see both ends of the stick. So whatever you do, they compensate because they have no choice. They want you to live forever in your mind. Although you get rid of the body because you think you don't go anywhere and you need the body, no. We're a microchip. We're whatever's outside. We float in the air like a butterfly. Remember, is that what Muhammad Ali said? Sting like a bee? Muhammad Ali said the words, all these pro athletes, whatever they say, it's part of history. If you listen, it means something. Regardless of what it means to them, regardless of what it means to anybody. It's whatever comes out and you study, whatever meaning you get out, it doesn't mean it's mean at all. See, mean is not that mean. And the mean is the difference. And the transportation is the means of transport. Tranny, transport, transmission. Cat and dog also equal to 50. The 50 golden wedding anniversaries is 50. There's no 50 cents piece. You need 2 quarters. And the 10 commandments times those quarters equals 25 jack. Or 250. 250 is an expression of 5 times 5 times 5 plus 5 times 5 times 5, in which, because you're angel who counts and then you count. And we don't always get the same count because where are we counting from? Which world are we in? 1, 2, 3, or the 4th row in the telephone? Urantia. The game that has all the tools in the star key and the pound key. It tells us God is a dog by telling us it backwards. Beta is the Betamax in the system that we play. So we had all the equipment and it's all old. So by now we should know something more than we don't. But do we? Because I see these knock the people off on Wall Street. And I'm not a happy guy. and I can't do anything about it, except what I'm doing now. You see, when I speak goodness to the whole people of all, the good and the bad, the word gets out for good, and then it starts to tilt, and then it rocks. So if my word starts to rock, and everybody thinks it's a good word, the boat will tilt some more. Eventually we'll become the Titanic, and it'll tip over. Except guess what? There's only one life raft, and everybody who follows the good way gets into that raft. Everybody else gets laid into the ocean because they weren't a woman or child, because the woman brought us into the world, and the child, he doesn't know any better. So they save those first, because everybody else has already something in their mind, and what's in their mind, well, it's not as good as it should be. And at the same time, whether it's good or not, it's a process of thought. It's a thought processor. There's a group out there called 1111, and this group, they talk about the thought process. Another thing about this group, the 1111, which brought me to punch something into the typewriter, and I came up with a roulette wheel that said Orpheus. You remember Neo in the Matrix and Orpheus or whatever? It's actually saying we're orphan son, because we're born to a system. Our parents were part of the system. Our God and whoever really actually put the blood into us, okay, it's his system. It's 10, 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Times 10 is 1,000 of God. Times the 6 man is 6,000. Times the 25 times 1,000 for the value of king and queen, the 13th and 12th card in the deck. 25,625 is an expression. What you have to do is you take the king and the queen, okay? You take all the cards in the deck and you create 25,625. I don't have it on me right now. I have never done that before. In fact, there's a few things on this video that I've never said before. I just say new things all the time, and that's what's fun about it. You can be in chapter 3, and you go to the next video of mine, you're in chapter 4, and all of a sudden you go back to chapter 3, I made another video, everything has changed. Because I can change it as I want. This is a moving book. I move it all the time. We move forward, we move back in reflection, just like they do in the movies. Now you can stop it, go back, see what I said. Maybe it'll change. You can reserve the space. You don't have to go to a movie and say, oh my God, what did I see? What did I see? Well, maybe we should have seeing glasses to know. Seeing, I just heard today from somebody about the Bering Sea, okay? And he was telling me that the Eskimos and the Hawaiians, they're all one actual fit coming out of the Asian people. And I know that. I didn't know that, but I understand it. And we're the weakest link. You ever see the movie Weakest Link? Well, that's us. Because they put on TV Who's Smarter Than a 5-Year-Old, and they put that on in North America, so I guess we're not too much brighter. So if that 5-year-old, okay, in a game, the 5-year-old, okay, competes against the 6, me. 5 versus 6. Because the one spirit, connect, makes him 5. If he connects with me, we're 6-6, but he's going against me. So we remove the one spirit, he becomes a 5, I stay a 6. Okay, it'd be I'm 5, he's 5. Spirit, he gets 1 less. Spirit, I get 1 more. Now there's a difference of 2. The separation is actually 1, and that's the difference in the fun of this whole thing I'm doing. Because what goes around comes around. Eventually, we're going to have the answer. This mask, I am entertaining myself as an I. I call Canada home. Home of the free. The buffaloes roam. Rome is a planet. It's Lenin. There's so many things. The hole in the bagel. Israel, I started to do Israel before. Well, Israel has a total count of numbers of 64, which means the spirit of the angel connect. 6 and 4 is the totality of the 10 commandments. 4 and 6, because the 5th one is actually, it ends in the first 5 commandments, right? And then we go on to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we start off the other side as F, man, which is 6. But it's not actually an F, it's an O. Okay, the other 6. The O is also a 6. The X is also a 6. Exodus. DOS. However, the DOS works in your computer will explain what I'm talking about. So why is it 6? Because the 24th letter is an X. 2 and 4 is 6. Now you have the 6th letter, which is a 6, and the O is the 15th letter, and 1 and 5, that's 6. In fact, that O is actually a pig. That's why we can't eat the pigs, because it's our birth. That O is the water in our life. The water, the river, the Nile, Whatever it is, whatever it is.
So we'll let Pete come in
me have a little drink.
and get you into that rock ride that starts with Nazareth. See you tomorrow.
As your financial advisor, I suggest saving 50%, investing 40, and spending 10.
So,
how does that sound?
Sounds like
what I'm going to say next is that I thank you and appreciate you coming to the end of this cassette. A journey we started 51 minutes ago. 51 is the passage. I will be 51 in 2014. Exactly 51, because everything ends on the day of the eve of my birthday. One day later. Oh no, the eve. It's the eve. It's the eve of. It's the eve of 5 that ends the 4. You see, the eve of 3 goes to 4. But the eve of 5, oh my God, I never thought of that. The eve of 4 and the eve of 5. The 5 is a whole new world. It's a passage. That's the way it is. So you have 4 and 5. You have the 4 and you have the 5. I'll try and explain it again. When you get to the night before the 4th, the eve of the 4th, the eve of the 4th equals to the 3rd. Now the eve of the 4th equals end. The 5 equals begin. And the reason for the end and the begin between 4 and 5, in which FOX, F is the 6th letter, O is the 6th, and X is the 6th. They're all 6. So what happens now is eve, okay, the eve on the 3rd, okay, the next day is the 4th. And the 4th is delta. It's the final corner that they needed before they installed the Area 51 for passage. So now we're going to look at it like this, you see. 1 is a stick, okay. 1, A, it's first, ends in ST. 2, second, ends in ND. 3, third, ends in RD. So they're all individualized. 4 is fourth. It ends in TH. 5th is 5th. It ends in TH. But a 5th and a 5 is not the same. The 5 changes because it's a 5th. It's because in God's world it's 5. But in this world a 5th means the letter N. Because it comes from somewhere else. The N is the 14th letter, which equals 5. Okay? So it gets individualized. So, where is it? Where is it? I don't like that. Come on, find it quick. Find it quick. Okay, I did. So, 5th also has a TH. F-T-H. T-H-T-H. But this TH is in the middle. It goes back to 4 and it goes over to 6. So this is individualized because it's 4th and it creates the 4th corner and it's an odd number. This is another odd number because it goes in the center and there's no other center like this. But at the same time, this is an even number because this position is area 1. So you would have area 1 and 5 is 6 and 4 is 10. And that's the count of Israel, 10. It actually means, is this whole crazy thing of life real? And they go, yes, is real. That's the name of God. God is real. God has many names, but one of the names is Israel. But it's Area 51, so whichever way you want to put the letters, it's going to change. And because that's his name to us down here, his name is going to be different up there. So what happens is you get 5th, then you get 6th, then you get 7th, then you get 8th, then you get 9th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and it stops. Excuse me, it stops at 10. 10th. Now you have 11, nth. You see it's 10th, okay? But when you get to 11, it says 11th. 11, 10th, 11th. 11th, 10th, 11th. You can't even say 11 with TH. So that means from 4 to 10, that's where it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a total of 6. So you have 4 where it starts, and 6 after that equals to the 10. 4 angle of 6 man. 4 times 6, 4 plus 6. So It's all patterns. So you have a total of 6 there, and the reason you have 6, it creates the 6th man. Then you have the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 15th, 15th. It's not the same. 15th is not the same. 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. We're going to end it right here. The value of this card, okay, because it's a black card, it means it's half. But because it's individualized in this card, I'm going to tell you it's whole. So the top corner on the left and the right, okay, is 1 and 3. The bottom here is also 1 and 3. The 4 says multiply the spade by 4. So every spade is worth 4. It equals 16. 16, 1 and 6 means the spirit of man. 7. Now if you use if you use this 4 here and the value here, because they're individualized, they're not the same shape. Because if I told you the spades are worth 4 and I didn't put the 4, you'd have 1 value. So now you have 1 and 3 is 4, 1 and 3 is 4. This world says 4, this world says 4. Here's the answer, same thing. Now we're going to count this. 4 and 4 is 8, and 4 is 12. And 4 is 16. 1 and 6. Did you follow me? 4. This is worth 4 and 4 is 8. This is worth 4 and 4 is 8. 16. 1 and 6 on your dice. 1 and 6, the opposite side. That's your 16. That's the P letter. That's your small spirit number. That's the nav. That's why the nav is all bad. Okay, because first he's even, then he's odd. He's a stick. The angel is a stick. God starts on creation. Because what happens is he exchanges his one position, okay, like they showed you in bridge. They showed you in bridge that the jack took over the job. So he is part of a corner. But it's a half a corner like the stop sign. The king is 3. 3 times 13 is 39. 9 and 3 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3, which is creation. The queen is 2 and the ace is 4. So that means the ace's value is as high as king jack. And that's why we always say we're jacking up our car. We're jacking on out. We're jacking off. Because these are all expressions of alpha, beta, and creation. How much more is there? There's just how much more? I'd say about 6,000 years of history plus the universe. So how much more do you think we have to write? The universe is big, it'll never stop. My idea, your idea, our idea to the world. We created our idea and we spread it around the world, we become one. We go back to the understanding that if you're not here in the end, then you're an Indian. Because an Indian giver is one who comes to life for free and gives nothing into the life. So we have the Indian who expresses it, but he gives something into the life, so he dresses up and decorates everything. Have you ever seen an Indian with a beard? Pretty rare, eh? Pretty rare, eh? We have beards. We all think the beard is the best thing in the world. But if you can't express anything, you're expressing in the beard, you're thinking. It's always different. We're always thinking, and the Indian has a powwow, and he gets up and he does the powwow. But we're still grabbing our beard and bobbing back and forth, relaxing, like an old granny on her chair. So everything I say, don't forget, you have to say it backwards. And whenever I say that seems right, you have to go to make sure that it's all wrong. Because if you only see the right, you won't understand the difference, and you won't see what's on the way on the road. If you go from here to Los Angeles, or wherever you are in the world, there's things in the middle of the road. You just didn't go from here to there. Even if you got on a plane, you were in airspace. Was there any bumps? Was there a person next to you? Were you sitting? Were you standing? When did you buy your ticket? Did you go to the airport? Where did you park your car? Did you leave the cats anything? Is the cat in the house? Is the cat outside? Is your son okay? So we always have to go, and you cannot get mad. You can't say, shit, I did this before, because that's not right. Yeah, you did it before, you can say shit. And I'll do it again. And I hate repeating myself. So I must make some way that I don't have to repeat myself anymore.